accounting equation. Okay, you have learned accounting equation where A equal to C plus L. That's that's something very easy, right? And you can reposition all the items in the accounting equation to get another two versions of equation, right? Okay, so this is accounting equation. And you have also learned that there are two types of assets, NCA and CA. You have also learned that there are two types of liabilities, NCL and CL. You have also known what is capital, right? And you have also known some examples, okay, of NCA, CA, examples of NCL and CL. Okay, those are the things you learn in part one. You could be wondering why I didn't teach you the two words accounting and bookkeeping. Okay, usually for the first few lessons in school, the school teachers will teach you what is bookkeeping and how is it different from the word accounting. Okay, we make a comparison between these two words because that's what you see in all the textbooks. Okay, in most of the textbooks, the first topic will be about accounting against bookkeeping. You have to compare these two words. But in my opinion, it's better to learn these two process. Okay, these two are known as process. Okay, accounting is a process, bookkeeping is another process. It's better to learn these two processes when you have done a lot of topics in this subject. A lot of topics in this subject. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you what is accounting and how is it different from bookkeeping in part 17. Okay, in chapter 17, which means next year. Okay, next year I will tell you what is bookkeeping, what is accounting. Okay, so stay tuned. And then part 2, you have learned how to do income statement. You have also learned how to do SOFP, right? Okay, the two major things you learn in the part 2. Remember, prepare income statement first, then only you prepare SOFP. Don't forget to bring the profit for the year. Don't forget to bring the profit for the year into SOFP. Okay, and yeah, that's it for part 2. And now we are going to see part 3, something that is the foundation, okay, of the subject also. Part 3, let's have a look. So on here, let me plug a wire, okay, to my writing pad. I forgot to charge it. Give me a few seconds. Okay, I'm back here. Okay, in this part 3, first and foremost, you are going to learn what I call as the data entries. Okay, data entries. And if you have been studying accounting with your school teacher, then you should know what data entries is. When you are given a sentence and you could be asked to determine what account to debit and what account to credit. Okay, and I believe that some of you have learned it in your school. And here we are going to go through again, and I will also tell you what are the things to pay attention to, okay, for data entry. And then two more things to learn here in part 3. We have ledger and also discounts. Okay, so for sure we will not be touching these two for today. Okay, we will only touch data entry because due to time limitation. Okay, have a look at the next page. Page 28. Page 28. Sorry, 29. Okay, you can see page 29. Okay, so I will treat you like a beginner, okay, a beginner to these data entries, and then I will guide you from zero. Okay, and let's see. First and foremost, you have to understand what is this T-shape. Okay, what is the T-shape? What is the T-shape that is presented to you here? It's a very big T-shape, right? You agree? Okay, it's a very big T-shape. You must know what is the name of this T-shape. Okay, what do you call this T-shape as? There are three names to this three names to this T shape. Okay, you can call it as account, or you can call it as ledger account, or you call it as T account. But don't ever call this T shape as ledger. Okay, this is not ledger. Okay, the T shape is not ledger. It's a very common misunderstanding in students. Okay, so in accounting, you have to pay attention to all the terminology. Okay, without or with a word, it makes a big difference. Okay, so you can call the T shape as account, or you call it as ledger account, or you just call it as T account. Okay, but never call it as ledger. The T shape is not ledger. Ledger is something that I will tell you what it is, maybe in the next lesson. Okay, so now you have known what do we call the T shape. Okay, the T shape is account, or we call it ledger account, or we call it T account. Okay, and what is the purpose of this T shape? Okay, later we will see. For now, let's understand when would you see a T shape. When you are dealing with assets. Okay, A stands for assets, L stands for liabilities. When you are dealing with assets, when you are dealing with liabilities, I stands for income. Or when you are dealing with incomes, E stands for expenses, and capital, you will see a T shape. Okay, so here it says all assets, liabilities, income, expense, and capital have their own T account. Okay, so yeah, that's what it means. Every asset will have its own T account. Every liability will have its own T account. And the same goes to income and expenses. Okay, and here you have been given two examples. The one on the left is known as furniture account. The one on the right is known as cash account. Okay. Okay, so what my point is, the word that appears in the middle, on top of the T shape is the name of the account. So name of account, okay, you may write down. That's the name of the account. The word that appears on top in the middle is the name of the account. Okay, so left-hand side, you have furniture account. On the right, you have a cash account. Furniture is an asset. Cash is also an asset, right? Okay. Now, let's look in detail, okay, of these two T-shapes here. You can see the big T shape here, it naturally divides an area into two divisions, right? Okay, left-hand side and right-hand side. Okay, this is the left-hand side, this is the right-hand side. Okay, the T shape itself naturally divides an area into two areas, two divisions. The left area we known as we call it the debit side. Debit means left, credit means right. As to why debit means left and credit means right, I do not know. Okay, I'm not so interested in the history of accounting, but if you go and search online, you may get the idea why debit means left, credit means right. But since the day I started learning accounting, I didn't go and find out. Okay, but if you're interested, you can go find out. But don't worry, in the exam, they will not ask you why debit means left, credit means right. Okay, they will not ask you. Okay, so debit means left, credit means right. That's the way it is. Okay, so just take it as it is. Debit means left, credit means right. So we call this side as the debit side, this side as the credit side. This is debit side, this is credit side. Okay, get the idea? Okay, just like left-hand side and right-hand side. Okay, and then, so there are some blanks at the bottom here. Let's fill up the blanks together. The above T shapes are called, okay, write down, furniture account and cash account. The one on the left-hand side, okay, you have a furniture account. The one on the right is known as cash account, the one that we have gone through just now. Okay, now continue to observe the furniture account here, the one on the left. This is known as a debit entry. You see that there is something written on the left on the debit side of furniture account, right? There's something written on the debit side of furniture account, right? You must know what do we call it as. Okay, these few things that we have written, you see 1,000 cash 2017 June 1st. This is known as a debit entry. Okay, when you see that something has been written on the debit side, we call that as a debit entry. On another hand, you see that there's something written on the credit side of cash account. We say that this is a credit entry. Okay, debit entry, credit entry. Okay, and then continue to write. So in the furniture account, you have a debit entry in it. We also call this as we have debited furniture account. Okay, so you fill out the blank, debited furniture account. When you see a debit entry in an account, it means that we have a debited furniture account. When you see that something has been written on the credit side, here you write, we have credited the cash account. Okay, because you have written something on the credit side of the cash account. Later, I will tell you what is the common misunderstanding in students. Okay, so let me repeat. In the furniture account, left-hand side, you see that there's something written there. We call it a debit entry. And you can also say that we have debited for the furniture account, because inside the furniture account, you have something written on the debit side. Okay. On another hand, observe the cash account. Something has been written on the credit side. It means it's a credit entry. Also means we have credited the cash account, because in the cash account, you have written something on the credit side. Okay. Okay. So what is the common mistake that students will make? Students, they may tell me that, teacher, the word cash is written on the debit side though. Doesn't this mean debit cash? No, this doesn't mean debit cash. Okay, this doesn't mean debit cash. Let me write. It's not debiting cash here. Okay. On another hand, in the cash account credit side, you see that something is written here. So some students may tell me, then is this credit furniture? No, this is not credit furniture. Okay, so it's a common misunderstanding in students. They tell me that this means debit cash and this means credit furniture, which is not right. Okay, what you have to focus on is the name of the account and the position of the entry. Okay, so we have debited furniture account and credited cash account. Okay, so at this point, you may not understand yet why we have something written on the debit side of furniture account and why we have something written on the credit side of the cash account, right? Okay, so let's continue to see. Before I continue, let's look at the debit entry and credit entry, see what they have there. Do you see a figure? Yes, right. We call it the value. Okay, the one highlighted in blue, this is known as the value. Okay, or you call it the figure, okay? Value or figure. Then the one that appears in the middle next to the value, the ones highlighted in purple, that is known as the detail. That's known as the detail. And the last, so meaning there are three components. There are three components to any debit or credit entry. The value component, the details component, and lastly, the dates component. Okay, so in a T account, you will always see three components in an entry: value, detail, and the dates. And continue to write. Details refer to this one, must remember, which is something many students keep forgetting. detail is always the name of the other account. Name of the other account. Okay, so you write this down. I'll explain to you. Okay, must always remember for details, what we write there, for detail, we always write the name of the other account. So what does this mean? Okay, you agree, right? Left hand side, you have a furniture account. Right hand side, you have a cash account. Okay, so when you are recording something into the furniture account, what should we write here? We should write the name of the other account, which is cash. Okay, that's the meaning, name of the other account. On another hand, when you are observing the cash account, what do we write in the detail here? We write the name of the other account. That's the meaning here. Okay, we write furniture. Okay, so this is something to remember. Name is where, so we name where the money is transported to and from. Yeah, you can say so. Correct, Naima. Okay, let me erase some of the writings here. It's a bit messy. Okay, so conclusion about key account. When you see something written on the debit side, that's a debit entry. When you see that something is written on the credit side, that's a credit entry. And for every entry, there are three components: value component, details component, and this component. Okay, so again, I've yet to tell you why do you debit furniture and why do you credit cash account. Okay, now we read the third line here. This debiting and crediting process is the result of having a business transaction. Okay, again, a new term to you. Okay, what is meant by business transaction? You fill up the blank here with business transaction. The last line, okay, the last line you write business transaction. Okay, so here it explains to you what is meant by business transaction. It means events in business. Anything that happens in business, we call it as business transaction. Anything that happens in business, we call it as business transaction. Okay, events that happen in business. Simple. Okay, so what are some examples? Let's write down a few examples. Later you will see a lot. Okay, you will know a lot of business transactions. For example, sell goods. Okay, sell goods is also a transaction. Return goods, customer return goods is also a transaction. Customer make payments, customers pay. It's also a transaction. Okay, so all these are events in business. We call them as business transactions. Okay, so then what transaction are we looking at right here? What business transaction are we looking at right here? Why we have to credit cash and debit furniture? Okay, the line is written here. The transaction above is we have bought a furniture with cash. We have bought a furniture with cash. So, but then why credit cash and debit furniture? Why not the other way around? Why not credit furniture and then debit cash? Okay, later we will see. Okay, and to be honest with you, for this double entry topic, there is something that you have to really memorize and take it as it is. It's kind of like what you learn in mathematics. Do you remember when you started learning mathematics? When you were in kindergarten, right? Agree? Okay, when you were 5 years old, 6 years old, that's the time you started to learn mathematics. And then, so you started to, at that time, you started to try to recognize what is a plus sign, what is a minus sign, what is multiply, and what is divide, right? Agree? Okay. And do you argue with the teacher, why is this a plus sign? Why is this a negative sign? Why does this mean multiply? Why does this mean division? No, right? Because that's the way it is, right? Agree? Okay. in accounting, when did you start to learn this subject accounting? When you are in year 10, when you're in year 10, right? Okay. And all the while you have not been in touch with this subject at all. And only when you are in year 10 onward, then only you know what is accounting. That's why I always tell my students, this topic data entries is kind of like learning the plus and minus of mathematics. It's kind of like learning what is plus, recognizing what is minus sign, recognizing what is multiplying sign. Okay, kind of like that. That means there are a lot of things here that you have to memorize and take it as is. Okay, like knowing what account to debit and knowing what account to credit, even though without a lot of common sense here. Okay, so no worries. I will give you a couple of tips on how to do so. Okay, how to memorize those entries. Okay, now have a look at the last line here. The one after business transaction. It says that every business transaction must give rise to two effects. Okay, so what does it mean? At least a debit. I left out a word here. You help me to fill up the blank here. At least a debit entry and at least a credit entry. So here is telling you that whenever something happens in the business, you must find an account to write a debit entry. You must also find another account to do a credit entry. Okay, so that's the way it is. This is accounting. We call this a duality principle. Okay, write down duality principle. So accounting is something created by the inventor of accounting. Okay, if you are interested into looking into the history of accounting, you can search up this name. I'm not too sure if the spelling is correct. Luca Pacioli. Sorry, let me try to search it. Okay. This person is a mathematician, but at the same time, he's also the person who created accounting. Now, you see, why is Luca Pacioli the father of accounting? Okay, but I myself, I'm not interested in looking into the history, okay? But if you're interested, you want to find out how they created debit and credit and so on, then you can look into the history, okay? Look into the Wikipedia, there are many information there. Okay, come back to here. So just now you have written the term duality principle, right? Duality principle is like a rule, okay? Principle means rule. Principle means accounting rule. Okay, you write down accounting rule. Principle means accounting rule. And duality principle is just one of the many accounting rules. Okay, there's one topic in part 17. Okay, in part 17, you will see a lot of accounting principles, or you call them the accounting rules. And duality principle is one of them. Okay, so stay tuned. In part 17, you will learn more accounting rules. Here, you see one duality principle, which tells us that whenever you see a transaction, you must do a debit entry and at least a credit entry. Okay, at least. Okay, so for now, this is duality principle. Try to absorb it. Okay, try to digest this. Okay, now next, let's see what is next. So from now on, you are going to see a lot of transactions, and you are going to learn what account we should debit and what account we should credit. Okay, before we start, okay, from the next page onward, you will see. Okay, before we start with the first transaction, selling goods, let me give you a box of tools. Let me give you a box of tools that can help you to decide more easily. What account to debit and what account to credit. Okay, so have a look at this. I call it the decision-making rule. Decision-making rule. So you see, when you should receive money, okay, so let's say you see a transaction, you sell goods. When you sell goods, you should receive money, right? Then you do debit entry first. Okay, then you do debit entry first. Again, that's the way it is, okay? You have to take it as it is here. Like what you learn in mathematics initially, you try to recognize what is plus sign, what is negative sign. Okay, here is something similar. A lot of things that you have to just take it as it is, okay, for data entries. When you should receive money, then you do a debit entry first. If you receive the money in the form of cash, then you have to debit cash account. Then you have to debit cash account. If you receive the money in the form of check, you know what is check, okay? You know, I believe you know what is check, okay? So if you receive a check, then you should a debit bank account. Because a check will, let's say somebody give you a check, and that check, when you put it into the bank, then you will have more money in the bank, right? That's why you have to debit bank. When you receive check, you debit bank. When you receive cash, then you debit cash. Now you could be thinking, since nowadays many people use digital payment, right? You could have Grab Pay, Touch and Go Pay, what else? Shopee Pay, Shopee Wallet, Lazada Wallet, so many digital wallets, right? So you could be having a question here. What if we receive it in the form of maybe credit card or Touch and Go Pay and so on? Okay, don't worry. For IGCSE accounting, we keep it simple. There are only two forms of money. One is cash, another is check. Okay, so probably in the future, if you happen to learn accounting again in the future, maybe in A level, or you do it in the college or university, okay, you happen to touch accounting, then probably you would learn those forms of money in the future. Okay, but for now, keep it simple. We only have two forms of money. Is the physical cash or the money in the bank. Okay, if you receive cash, debit cash. If you receive check, you debit bank. Okay, yeah. Okay. On another hand, if you are supposed to pay money, if you are supposed to pay money, then you do credit entry first. Okay, then you do credit entry first. If you pay with cash, then you credit cash account. If you pay with check, then you credit bank account. Yeah, that's the way it is. And if you want me to explain why, I also do not know how to explain. Okay, there's no explanation to this. Like I said, there are many elements of memorization here. Okay, for this topic, data entries. If you pay with cash, you credit cash account. If you pay with check, you credit bank account. Okay, so keep this in mind. This is going to help you a lot when we are going through a lot of transactions from the next page onward. Okay, okay. Let me repeat. What is the decision-making rule here? If you should receive cash, then you do debit entry first. If you receive cash, you debit cash. If you receive check, you debit bank. On another hand, the one on the right, if you should make payment, do credit entry first. If you pay with cash, then you credit cash. If you pay with check, then you credit bank. Okay, so keep this in mind. I'm going to show you the next thing. Okay, here are a few advantages of doing data entries. Just put it here for a while. Okay, it may not make sense to you for now. We leave it here first. Okay, go to the next page, page 30. Page 30. Okay, so here you see there's transaction A, sell goods. Okay, sell goods. So let's say you are running a 7-Eleven. Sell goods means you sell those snacks to customers who come into your shop. You sell what else? You sell soft drinks. You sell soft drinks to your customers that who come into your shop. Okay, so that's selling goods. You add two words here, to customers. Selling goods to customers. Okay, when we sell goods to customers, then who are we? We are the supplier. We are the supplier. Okay, when you sell goods to customer, there are three ways to conduct this transaction. Okay, there are three ways to go about this transaction. Okay, so sell goods is a transaction. Okay, sell goods is a transaction. That something happened in the business. Then you go on to write the Roman 1 here, Roman 2, Roman 3. Meaning there are three ways to sell goods. A1, A2, and A3. A1 means we receive cash on the spot. Meaning when you send goods to your customers pay to us immediately. Okay, at the point of time you send goods to them, they give you money immediately. Okay, customers pay on the spot. Yeah, that's the word. You may write down on the spot payment. Okay, customer pay cash immediately to us when we sell goods to them. Get the idea? Okay. Okay. A2, check, immediate receipt. It also means on the spot payment from customer. When you send goods to them, they pay a check to us immediately. When we send goods to our customer, they pay a check to us immediately. Okay, so get the idea? Okay, A1 and A2 means immediate payment from customer. A1 is customer pay cash to us. A2 is customer paying a check to us. Okay, so what are the debit entries we should do here? Are we the one who should receive money or making payment of money? Receive, right? So recall what you learned here. When you should receive money, do debit entry first. If you receive cash, you debit cash account. If you receive check, you debit bank account. Agree? Okay. Now, this would help you to determine the debit entries here. A1, receive cash on the spot. Debit cash account. Okay, you may have a question. What does DR mean? What does CR mean? DR stands for debit. You may have further question. There's no R, there's no alphabet R in the word debit. How is there an R there? I also do not know. Okay, it's something created by the inventor of accounting, and I've never been interested in looking into why DR stands for debit. But if you're interested, you can go on and find out. But that's not very important, okay, to be honest, throughout the accounting subject. So take it as it is. DR means debit. CR means credit. Okay, this makes sense. Okay, CR, because you have the alphabet CR here, right? Okay, so if you receive cash, you debit cash. For A2, you receive a check on the spot, you debit bank. You debit bank. Okay, now what about the credit entry? The credit entry I tell you later. Okay, so at least now you have done the debit entry for A1 and A2. What about the A3? Let's look at A3. Sell goods on credit. Have you seen this term before? On credit? Okay, later I tell you what to credit. Yeah, even though you have learned, some of you should know the debit entries, but I will tell you later. So for A3 on credit, you saw this term before, right? On credit. I taught you this in part 1. The term on credit. Okay, so messy. Okay, you see, there's a term here at the bottom right. On credit. Okay, on credit means what? On credit means there's no immediate payment from the customer. No immediate payment from the customer. On credit means customer receive the goods first, but will owe the money to supplier for some time. That's the meaning of on credit. Okay, let's come back to here. So A3 means there's no on the spot payment. There's no on the spot payment from customer for the A3. So no immediate payment. We will receive the money later from the customer. We will receive it later. Okay, so what do we debit here? Can we debit cash here? Cannot. Can we debit bank here? Cannot. Okay, so you try to think logically. When customer has not paid to us, do you think that it's logical for us to remember the name of the customer? Maybe by by writing down the name of the customer, even take a picture of the IC of the identity card of the customer, and also to know where they stay, where is their address, their phone number, right? Logical, right? Okay. Therefore, you have to debit customer's name. You have to debit customer's name. So what's my logical reasoning here? Because you have to remember the customer's name, where they stay, where's their phone number. So you debit customer's name. Okay, so that you know, okay, this amount is owed by a customer named Ali from maybe Pataling Jaya. Okay, and then the phone number. So you debit customer's name because this customer owes us money. Yeah, that's how I make my students remember. Okay, if you sell goods on credit, you have to debit customer's name because you have to remember this person's name because this person owes us money. Okay, logical. Okay. Sometimes you may not be given customer's name in exam question, then you have to debit trade receivables. Okay, you write down trade receivables. Sounds familiar? You learn it in part 1, trade receivables. Customers who owe us money. Okay, congratulations. You have done all the debit entries for A1, A2, and A3. What account do we have to credit? Okay, here is something that you may have to remember separately, because this decision-making rule that you learned just now can only help you to determine one side of the entry. Okay, so for some transactions, you have to do some separate memorization. Okay, you have to do some separate memorization. So what account do we have to credit here? You have to credit sales account. Okay, so something to memorize it, you have to credit sales account. Congratulations. A1, A2, A3, we are done. So A1, A2, A3 are 3 transactions, and you have learned their data entries. We have to debit cash account and then credit sales account for A1. A2, debit bank account, credit sales account. A3, debit customers account, credit sales account. Okay, now have we created the T-shape and record into the debit side and credit side? Not yet, right? Let me show you. Okay, now I'm going to erase the bottom left corner here. You draw 2 T-shapes with me. You draw 2 T-shapes with me. One on the left, one on the right. Okay, now I'm going to show you, let's say this is 100, okay? Let's say this is 100. We sell goods worth $100 and receive cash on the spot. Okay, $100. I'm going to show you the A1 in T accounts. You create 2 accounts here, cash account and sales account. Okay, cash account and sales account. If you have done this before in school and you are very familiar with it, then you just take it as a revision here. Okay, because now I'm treating all of you as beginners to this topic, so I have to start from 0. Okay, after you have created the 2 accounts here, one is cash account and another is sales account. Hear carefully. Debit cash account means go to the cash account, debit side, write the figure there first. 100. That's the meaning of debiting cash account. Always write number first. There are 3 components to every entry, right? Remember? There are 3 components to every entry: value, detail, and dates. Always write the figure first, really. Okay, you can minimize the chance of making mistakes by writing down the value first. Position the numbers correctly first. Okay, so debit cash account means go to the cash account, debit side, write 100 there. Credit sales means go to the sales account, credit side, write figure there first, really. Write figure there first. Okay, after you have positioned the numbers, then only you write the details. What to write for details? Name of the other account. Name of the other account. Meaning you have to write sales here, write cash here. Okay, you get it? Write number first, then you only write detail. Let me write down the order here. Number 1, number 2. Okay, what about the dates? Okay, dates are very easy to write. It's later I show you. Okay, for now, learn how to position the numbers correctly because it's easy to forget. If you follow the sequence here, the order of recording here, where you should write number first, then only write detail, then for sure you will not make mistake. Okay, believe me. Write number first, then only write details. Okay, I give you a few more examples, then you do for me, then you send a picture to my WhatsApp, then I check with you. So far you have learned 3 transactions only, okay? A1, A2, and A3, and you have learned the debit entries. I show you a few transactions. You do on a piece of paper, you show me the T accounts, and then you send me a picture. Okay, let's copy a few transactions together. Number 1, you write sold goods for cash 200 to Ali. Number 2, okay. Okay, so you take a bit of time, copy down these transactions on maybe on a piece of foolscap paper. Meanwhile, let me tell you what to get ready with for your foolscap paper. Oh yeah, I know it's blocking the writing. After you have copied down the 4 transactions on the left, okay, the ones in the notepad, then you do a few T accounts, and then you send to my WhatsApp. I will tell you what accounts you need, okay? So I'm drawing, you can draw along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You need a total of 5 accounts. Okay, for now, ignore the dates. I just want you to learn how to position the numbers correctly and also to write the details correctly. Remember, write numbers first, then only write detail. Okay, so you may begin. Okay, when you're done, you send to my WhatsApp for these 5 T accounts: cash account, bank account, Ali account, city account, and sales account. Okay, you may begin. If you have question to ask, you can let me know in the chat box. Okay, I wait for you. Okay, I think I've given more than enough time. Okay, 7.5 minutes, but don't wait for the time to finish. Then only you send me. Okay. Okay. Okay, 3.5 minutes left. One and a half minutes left. Okay, I've received from one of you. Okay, so Jason, hurry up. I'm checking their answer. Okay, time's up. I'm done checking. So let's see how to complete it. For notes, I put it at the bottom left. Okay, bottom left, so you can refer. Now let me complete the answers for you. You check, then do correction. Okay, first transaction. Sold goods for cash $200 to Ali. What do you debit? What do you credit? Debit cash? Credit sales. Do you need to touch Ali account? No, because it says for cash. For cash means you get money on the spot. Okay, you get cash on the spot. So the name Ali here is for you to, is something to distract you. This is something to distract you here. Okay, Ali. But focus on for cash, you get cash on the spot. So debit cash, credit sales. After you have determined that you have to debit cash and credit sales, Debit cash means go to cash account, debit side, write the figure there first. Position the numbers correctly first. Credit sales means go to sales account, credit side, put the figure there first. Okay? Okay. After you have positioned the numbers correctly, then focus on writing the details. Okay, what to write for details? Name of the other account. So write sales here, write cash here. Get the idea? Okay. Okay. Now, let me try to look at one of your answers. Okay, continue. Second one, so goods for check 300 to city. For check means you receive the money in the form of check immediately from city. You should debit bank, credit sales. And once again, the name city here is something to distract you. Okay, you must focus on for check, meaning you receive the money in the form of check immediately. So debit bank, credit sales. Once again, listen carefully. Debit bank means go to bank account, debit side, write figure there first. Credit sales means go to sales account, credit side, write figure there first. Okay, after you have positioned them correctly, then only write details. Sales, then here write bank. Okay. Get the idea? Okay. Now continue. The third one. So goods on credit for 400 to Ali. This time is on credit. It means that Ali has not paid to us. Ali owes us money. Can you debit cash? Cannot. Can you debit bank? Cannot. You have to debit Ali. Then credit sales. So once again, hear carefully. Debit Ali means go to Ali account, debit side, write the figure there is 400. Credit sales means go to sales account, credit side, write the figure there is. Then only you write details, which is the name of the other account. Write sales here, write Ali here. Okay. Okay. Last one. Okay. So goods on credit for $500 to Citi. Have you received the money from Citi? Not yet. Have you received the cash? Have you received the check? Not yet. Okay. It's on credit. Citi owes money to us. What should we debit? We should debit Citi. Credit sales. Okay. Okay. Now, once you have determined what to debit and what to credit, record into the T accounts by writing number first. Debit Citi means go to Citi account, debit side, write figure there. Credit sales means go to sales account, credit side, write figure there. Then only you write the name of the other account, the detail, sales, Citi. Okay, so these are the things that you have to know how to do. Must do perfectly. Must do perfectly. If you don't do perfectly, you will face a lot of problems in many of the later topics. Okay, in mathematics, can you forget that this is plus sign? Can you forget that this is minus sign? Cannot, right? This is something similar here for accounting. Okay, you cannot make mistake for double entries, otherwise you will suffer a lot in later topics. Okay, get the idea, yeah? So that's the level of importance this is. Okay, once done with correction, let me know. I show you a few more transactions double entries, then we do this exercise again. Okay, before we dismiss. Okay, now you let me know once you're done with correction. Okay, good patient. Okay, good Naima. I wait for Jason. Okay, good. I will do this exercise until all of you get all correctly. Okay, then only I will stop Okay, otherwise continue to do this exercise forever. Okay, now really, okay, because I need to ensure that you need to know you know how to do this. Okay, let me erase this. I'm not too sure if your school teacher has emphasized on writing down the numbers first or not, but that's the key. Okay, that's the most important thing to let you minimize mistakes. Okay, now look at this table again. So you have learned 3 transactions and their data entries, A1, A2, and A3. You agree, right? Customers may return goods, agree? Customers may return goods back to us. Look at transaction B. Customer return goods back to us. Remember who we are? In this flow chart, we are the customer, we are the supplier, we are the supplier. Okay, so when customer return goods back to us, you call this as sales returns. You call this as sales returns. Have you learned the word sales returns? Yes, right. When you were doing the income statement, I taught you what is sales returns. So how do you do the data entries here? There's something for you to memorize here. Something separate. You have to do reversal. Okay, this is a reversal symbol. Okay, this is a reversal symbol. And then add a word returns. Okay, let me show you how to do this. You have to do reversal plus the word returns. Okay, reversal means what? Earlier, you debited customer's name. Now you debit customer's name. Slash trade receivable. Something to take note. If you have been given customer's name, then just use the customer's name. You don't always have to go and write slash trade receivable. Get the idea? Only when you have not been given customer's name, then only you write trade receivable. Otherwise, that means customer's name is always preferred. Customer's name is always preferred to be written. Don't write trade receivable if you have the name. Okay, so reversal means earlier you debited customer's name, now you credit it. Earlier you credited sales, right? Now you credit sales. That's what we call as reversal. Okay, now where to add the word returns? The word returns, you add it here next to the word sales. Okay, there you go, sales returns. So when customer return goods to us, it is always debiting sales returns, credit customer account. Debit sales returns account, credit customer's account. Okay, once again, something to remember. Okay, I cannot explain much about this because there's no explanation. Okay, debit sales returns, credit customer's name. That's the data entry. Okay, now here's an example on the right hand side. We sell goods on credit to Ali for $500. Okay, you see, right, at the top right corner, there's a T shape there that's meant for creating an Ali account. Okay, you write Ali there, create an Ali account. Now we are going to learn how to do this Ali account. You look at the example first sentence. We sell goods on credit to Ali for $500. We have to debit Ali credit sales, right? We have to debit Ali and credit sales. So you debit Ali here. Okay, debit Ali 500. Sorry, I should use black color, easier to see, right? 500. Then here you write sales. Okay, so what is the consequence of this? Ali owes to us 500. Ali owes to us $500. Okay, because on credit, right? So customers owe us, Ali owes to us $500. Okay, next sentence. Ali returned goods worth $20 to us. Ali returned goods worth $20 to us. What are the data entries? The ones that you have learned a moment ago. Debit sales returns, credit Ali. Can see it's very small. Hope you can see. debit sale returns, credit Ali for this second sentence. So credit Ali account, 20, here write sales returns. I write in short form, yeah, because I don't have enough space there. Okay, in the exam, you should write in full. So you may have a question. What about the sales account and the sale returns account? Don't we have to do? Yes, but here I just want you to focus on doing the Ali account. Okay. So this is crediting Ali. So what is the consequence of this $20? It makes Ali owing less to us by $20. It makes Ali owing less to us by $20. Owe us less $20. So how much Ali still owe to us? 480, right? 480. Ali still owe to us 480. Okay, agree? Okay. Eventually, customer who still owe us money must settle the debt, right? Ali must eventually pay to us, right? To settle the debt. So look at transaction C. Transaction C is about settlement. Okay, customer settle debt. Customer can pay to us with either cash or check. So write the word or here. Customer can settle the debt through paying with either cash or check. If you receive it, if you receive the settlement in the form of cash, you debit cash. Agree, right? When you receive cash, you have to debit cash. If you receive the settlement in the form of check, you debit bank. Okay. So after you have written, I let you try. You try to tell me what account do you think we should credit? What account do you think we should credit? Okay, I wait for everyone's response. What should I write at the area I highlighted in light blue? Yeah, patient, you are correct. I wait for Naima and Jason. Okay, common mistake made by students, they may credit sales again. But if you write sales here, you try to observe. Doesn't this look the same as this? Where you sell goods and collect payment on the spot in the form of cash? Yes, right. So you cannot credit cash. Sorry, you cannot credit sales. You cannot credit sales returns. It's not about returning goods here. You should credit customer's name. Correct, Naima, trade receivables. Okay, so right now, so after settlement, customer will owe us less, right? Agree? So you credit customer's account. If you don't see any common sense here, it's common, okay? It's common that you don't see common sense here. This is something that is fixed that you have to remember. Okay, so create customer's name. If you don't see customer's name in the exam question, write trade receivable. The same goes to this. Okay. And then once you're done, let's finish off the example, third paragraph. Third paragraph. Okay, let me pick one more color. Okay, Ali settles with a check. Are we Ali here? Are we Ali? We are not Ali, okay? We are not Ali. Ali is our customer. Ali settles with a check means we receive a check from Ali. Anybody can tell me what is written on the check? How much is written on the check from Ali? How much is the amount written on the check from Ali? Yes, correct, patient. 480. Earlier, Initially, we sold goods on credit to Ali, $500. So Ali started to owe us $500. And then Ali returned goods back to us worth $20. So we use $20. Okay, Ali owes us $20 less. And third paragraph, the one highlighted in orange, Ali settled with a check. Settle means pay off all the debt. Is 480. Why? Because Ali still owe to us 480. So you use 480. What are the debit entries? Debit bank, credit Ali. Debit bank, credit Ali, 480. Okay, therefore you have to write here 480. Okay, credit Ali, right? Okay. Then name of the other account, write bank here. Does Ali still owe us money? No, Ali no longer owes us money after the settlement. When you see that both the debit and credit side have the same total, 500 on the debit side, 500 on the credit side, right? In this case, you can do something like this. Okay, from the lines, then you write the total amount. Okay, when you're done with whatever I have here, you let me know. Let me know with the word done, and then I will give you a few more transactions to let you decide the data entries and to record into T account. Okay, so let's see. Again, copy a few transactions. Okay, that's first transaction. Okay, you have 5 transactions here. And what accounts do you need to prepare? I show you now. You have to prepare cash account. You have to prepare bank account. You have to prepare Mohammed account. You have to prepare sales account. You have to prepare sale returns account. Okay, you may begin. Okay, again the timer. Okay, 7.5 minutes. Okay, I wait for a picture from the WhatsApp. Okay, still need answer from one of you. Okay, so the rest you wait for a while, may go to the washroom or anything. After I've received one more answer, then I discuss. Okay, few seconds left. Okay, I think patient should be sending. Let me see a picture from her, and then I will discuss. Okay, I've received. Okay. There are still some mistakes. Okay, but still not bad. Okay, so it will take you some time to master this. Okay, now let's begin once again. First one, so goods on credit to Mohammed for $600. Focus on the term on credit. You have not received the money. You cannot debit cash. You cannot debit bank. You debit Mohammed credit sales account. Okay, so determining what account to debit and what account to credit, it's just uh it's just something that you have done. Okay, what I mean is you have not fully you have not fully completed it yet. Okay, you have not fully completed it yet. So besides determining what to debit and what to credit, you must also perfect recording it into the T accounts. Okay, debit Mohammed means go to Mohammed account debit side, write the figure there first. Credit sales mean go to sales account credit side, write the figure there first. After you have positioned the numbers correctly, you are already halfway there, okay, in doing it correctly. Details are always the name of the other account, like sales here, like Mohammed here. Okay, so first one is done. Debit Mohammed, credit sales. Okay, always focus on writing the number first, then you won't make mistake. Number two, Mohammed return goods worth $100 to us. So we call this as sales returns, right? You have to debit sales returns, credit Mohammed account. Okay, something that you have just learned a moment ago, okay, before you started doing this question. Debit sales returns mean go to the sales returns account, debit side, write the figure there first. Credit Mohammed means Go to Mohammed account, credit side, write the figure there first. After you have positioned the numbers correctly, you are 50% safer from making mistake. You can now proceed to writing the details. Write sales returns here. Write Mohammed here. Okay, continue. Number 3, Mohammed settled the debt with cash. How much Mohammed still owe to us? 500. So we receive $500 cash from Mohammed. Debit cash, credit Mohammed. 500, right? Okay, now debit cash, credit Mohammed. Go to cash account, debit side, right figure there. Credit Mohammed means go to Mohammed account, credit side, right figure there. Then only you write details. Mohammed, here write cash. Okay, so if you think that you have been struggling with this when you were doing this with your school, then this is the time for you to make it correct. Okay, make it correct. Focusing on writing number first, then you write the details. You can really not make any mistake. Okay, you can really not make any mistake if you follow my way of doing it. Okay, number 4, so goods for $800 cash to Mohammed. Is it on credit? No, this is $800 cash. You receive the payment on the spot. Debit cash, credit, sales. The name Mohammed here is a distraction. This is something to distract you here. Okay, but you don't have to touch the Mohammed account actually. Amount is 800. Debit cash means go to cash account, debit side, write 800 there. Credit sales means go to sales account, credit side, write 800 there. Okay, now write the detail, write sales here, write cash here. Okay, now last one, so goods for check, $400 to Mohammed. Again, this is immediate payment from Mohammed. Debit, bank, credit, sales. Okay, without touching Mohammed account because it's not on credit. Debit bank means writing the 400 here. Credit sales means writing the 400 here. Okay, then here write sales, here write bank. Okay, so these are what you need to do. Okay, determine what to debit and what to credit, and also must know how to record into T accounts correctly. Write number first, then write details. For the dates, we practice writing it when we are doing other questions. Okay, so don't worry. I know there are many more transactions that you have to go through, right? I would not show you for everything through the T accounts. It would be time consuming. I need maybe a month's time to show you everything. So next lesson onward, I will show you other transactions and their tab entries all the way until transaction Q. Sorry, transaction P. Okay, all the way until transaction P, A until P. And then we are done with tab entry. Okay, so this topic is all about knowing what to debit and what account to credit. If you don't see any common sense in it, it's common. Okay, because it is something you have to remember here. Just like what you learn in mathematics, what is plus sign, what is minus sign, and so on. Okay, so when you're done with correction, let me know. Then I tell you to do a few questions as homework to practice, and then we dismiss. Okay, when you're done doing correction, let me know. Okay, I wait for Naima. Okay, good, well done. Okay, now let me close this. A few questions as homework for you to try. I cannot let you do a lot. I cannot let you do a lot for now because you have only learned a few transactions. Okay, here's one. This is page number 38. Okay, page number 38. Take page number 38. Question 17. Okay, and then page number 40. Page number 40. Page number 40. Transaction number 2. Only this one. Okay, only this. The C2. Okay, C2. The rest you cannot do yet. Even though I know your school might have taught you, but let me guide you through it once more before I let you do. Okay, just do C2. And then page 41, page 41, you can do for me. Okay, this one, the one about Nelson, our customer return goods. Then nothing else. Okay, so only a few questions. Make sure you attend them, and then I will discuss with you in the next lesson. Okay, next lesson, I will go through other transactions with you. We will see what to debit and what to credit for every transaction. Okay, have a nice day, everyone. I see you next week. Bye. Oh, okay, Naima, 40, page 40, is it? Okay, let me go to page 40. Okay, the rest you may leave, yeah. I will see you next week. Page 40. Here. Okay, Jason, I repeat again, yeah. C2 is the same question, Naima. It's the same question. You have to read this two, and then you determine what to debit here and credit. Okay, I repeat once more, yeah. From the beginning. Page 38. Okay, Jason, look, yeah. Page 38, question 17. And then, yeah, have a nice day, Naima. Same to you. And then, page 40, this table number 2. Okay, Jason, C2. And then, page 41, question 2. This table, the third last, Nelson, okay, determine what to debit and what to credit. Then no more. Okay, have a nice day. Bye, Jason.